Hello everyone. We're going to focus on Intuit Practice Management here. Something I just learned yesterday. I wanted to share. When you're creating invoices, just from Intuit Practice Management or IPM, you're not synced to QuickBooks. You're just using it with Lacert or using it as a standalone, right? Because we have some firms using it in that capacity too. And after you create the draft and then you're approving the invoice, you want to go ahead and finalize it. How do we customize it to even show employee name, hours, and the full description? And I wanted to show you guys that if you do prepare invoices like that are more detailed than just like item description or a summary, and you're printing out of IPM, here's what you do. So you're going to click on the client's name like you would. It's going to launch the invoice detail. Currently, the timesheet notes do not flow to these note fields. I have that as a request. Eventually, that's going to be in there. So you're going to have to type in whatever notes you have for the invoice that you want to see on the invoice itself. And no matter the format you use, I always use the default, but we have several formats here: detail with staff, detail with no staff, expense detail, etc. But I just leave it to the default, right? I think that's mostly dealing with QuickBooks anyway, so never mind that. But when you click on the print option, it'll open up another tab, and then select report. You want to choose time expense detail only grouped. And it's actually going to give you the fullest detail of any invoice that's not going to QuickBooks, right? Because you can always customize in QuickBooks. But if you're just doing it IPM, if you want to get the fullest invoice detail, even with employee names and hours or staff names and hours, use the time expense detail only grouped. Again, that's at the bottom. Typically, people are using either the line items only or the summary only. But again, total expense detail grouped. And I'm going to go ahead and choose print so you can see what it looks like. And here's my invoice here. I got my actual staff underneath the work codes I'm using, and then the date category and the quantity. This would be the hours they worked on it, and then of course this is an expense, so there's no hours, just expense, and then you have the rate. So a little more detailed in that regard. So again, if you want to have the fullest detail invoice that you actually print out of IPM to send to your client, it's actually not going to QuickBooks, right? So you're either using IPM just with Lacert only, not integrating with QuickBooks, or as a standalone, then by all means choose that option, time, expense, detailed, grouped, when you're actually going to print out the invoice from Practice Management. Hope that was helpful. Have a great day.